speed.
Rolling. And when you're ready, Fenners.
Come on, Jeremy.
You're for me, Fenners.
You go there, mate. No, you go around the back there.
Around the back.
Lovely.
So's the best way.
That's lovely seats, lovely.
Yeah.
How are you, mate?
I'm all good, okay?
Yeah. Oh, we're doing handshakes, are we?
Yeah,
Oh, very formal.
Yeah, I feel it's proper production.
Welcome to the boot room, mate.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
What we're going to do is we're going to take a journey through your career via the football boots that you wore. Now, when I rang you and said, what were your first pair of boots, what did you say?
I haven't got a clue.
No, and that's poor Jamie for the boot room. So
what a great show we're going to have here.
We're going to let you unbox the first pair. Go on, in your own time.
Okay.
And if you can read the label, tell us what the label says and
so
stuff
the
like
label
that.
says Jamie Carragher, year 1992, Marsh Lane, Adidas Stratos. Marsh Lane is basically the main road that runs through our area of Bootle, where my school was. My dad had a pub on Marsh Lane. The Brunswick Boys Club, which was our local, youth club, if you like. So we played football in around there. Yeah, so that's basically where I grew up. So these are going to be a pair of boots from when I was a kid.
Well, let's get them out, see if you...
Oh, yes. Okay.
Now, do you remember these?
No.
So I found a photograph of you sitting on a ball, and I think you were playing for...
Sefton.
Sefton, yeah.
Yeah, so Sefton Boys. So I would have been about 13 or 14 with these boots on.
Okay.
And the thing I notice about these boots is the bit underneath here.
Yeah.
When I was about 11, we had like an awards night at Liverpool, and they give like 2 or 3 prizes out maybe to the best players or whatever it was. And I got a pair of boots like these, but they were red with it's purple.
Right, okay.
I can always remember this underneath in this sort of arch in the side of your foot. I mean, are they mine? Are they the originals? I mean, I'm looking at the studs.
I mean, they could well be, mate. I don't know.
I mean, that's what studs were like. You used to properly get a good wear out of them, didn't you?
Yeah. You couldn't get those. Like,
they're still nice though. They feel like soft and.
You could pop them on afterwards. You know what?
Oh, what have I done there? Oh God, you broke them there. Sorry. No, but I used to.
You just carry on.
No, but I used to. That's what my dad used to do when he get boots.
Yeah.
I always remember him like twisting boots, to see if they were like proper soft and twist them and. A good pair of boots then, you can twist them.
Yeah, and used to smell them.
Yeah.
Was that just me?
Yeah.
So, just going back to so what age would you have been then?
That would have been about 13.
So what sort of player was Jamie Carragher then?
Jamie Carragher was a centre forward.
Yeah.
He would have been a number 9.
What sort of centre forward were you?
Then I would have been a number 9, as in goal scorer. 12 months at Sefton in them boots, and then went to Lilleshall.
Yeah, right. Pop those back in, mate. Pop them down there, and we'll move on to the next pair.
Okay.
You can actually have those, mate.
Keep on.
I got those on eBay.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
We can't send them back now.
Can't.
Jamie Carragher, Lilleshall. Oh wow.
Yeah. So these are the boots that you wore when you used to train at Lilleshall.
Yeah.
I mean, what a boot.
It was funny because when we went to Lilleshall, so we're 14, it's all the best players in the country. Everyone had them.
Right.
It was like these were the boots. But my first pair of them came from Liverpool.
Right.
They sent them as like almost like, our 2 Liverpool lads are at Lilleshall, Carra and Cass, we'll send them boots. And I remember getting them. Yeah. So I didn't actually buy them or nothing like that. They came from Liverpool. But the tongues were always interesting on these, I felt. It was always, can you get
it? Yeah.
Because they weren't strapped down. It was like, can you push them down enough?
I've seen pictures of you. Did you tie yours down? Yeah.
Well, when I played for Liverpool, in the year we won the Treble, the 3 cups, I wore World Cups.
That's right.
Here. And if you look at my boots, I've got an elastic here. I got someone to put elastic. So it wasn't these as such.
We're going to get onto them in a bit, yeah.
Okay, we'll get there then. But no, these are...
yeah.
If I think of boots, and as I just said before, I'm not massive into me boots, but I can
give them a bend. Go on, give them a bend. They're not going to crack. Look, hello. Get on that.
You can't beat that.
You can't.
I think they're the most famous boots and best boots of all time now.
They're the ultimate football boot, really, aren't
And the
they?
thing I used to love about them was, remember you used to watch Germany play?
Yeah.
And everyone had them, didn't they?
Yeah.
Everyone, like the whole team would wear World Cups, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
You know, they had obviously that big deal with it. Was that Adi Dassler? That was the German thing, wasn't it?
That's the man, mate.
Yeah. But it's Adidas in Liverpool.
Yeah, I know. Just tell me about Lilleshall. What were the sessions like? Do you remember like it being like a massive step up?
It was different to Liverpool in that it was. I always felt the FA's way of playing was different to Liverpool. Liverpool was ahead of its time.
Yeah.
I would say. The FA was not direct football as in long ball, but it was very much get the ball forward, get into the striker's feet. I was a striker, so it was almost get the ball into the striker's feet. All the strikers could hold the ball up.
And who was your best mate there?
Jamie Cassidy. Both of us, we were in the room.
Yeah.
So there was me. There was three of us in the room. Marlon Brooms, who was the best player. He ended up going to Blackburn from Lilleshall. I think he got paid a few quid. Blackburn had a few quid at the time, but everybody wanted him. He was the captain.
Right.
He ended up captain our team and England schoolboys. So he was in the room, and me and Cash were either side of him. But he was the biggest lad there as well. It was like we were rooming with a man.
Yeah.
Really. So I think we were a bit terrified of him. We used to wind them up, two scousers in the room. Yeah, got on well with a few of them. But we're all in a group chat together.
Still?
Yeah. And you know what the name of it is? Because what's the thing on the boots here? 92.
Yeah.
The real class of 92.
I love that. I love. Do you ever get in any bother when you were there? Obviously, because you're at school. You know, everyone gets into bother at school.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's what it's for, isn't it?
You don't want to elaborate on that?
I nearly got lashed out at Lilleshall. Yeah, it got to the end of Lilleshall, and I was football mad. As you know, I had no time for school. And obviously, you get into your exams, aren't you? So, you know, your last few months and that, and I wasn't for me.
Right, next pair, mate. That's brilliant. Lilleshall. That sounds. That is the ultimate. That is brilliant. The ultimate, innit? Can you imagine for a young lad?
Jamie Carragher, the debut, 97. So these Nike Tempos.
Yeah. I mean, a lovely boot. A classic.
I like the tongue.
Classic boot. Nice.
I like the tongue the way it's just like it just does
minimal. Does the business. It's almost like it's got a magnet on it, isn't it? It just pops it down. So before we get to the actual game itself, just talk us through a little bit about the build-up to that game. And when I say the build-up, I'm not talking about the week before. I'm talking about you being at Liverpool as a young lad and the going into Melwood. When Melwood was old school Melwood, and the boot room, was a thing. You've been there and done that. I mean, give us an insight.
I find myself very lucky in that I was probably the last player who ever got a taste of the old boot room before it be obviously modernised, because Stevie was more the academy. So I got Roy Evans for a couple of years, the last 2 years of his time, Ronnie Moran. So it was that boot room feel of like, these guys were involved with Bill Shankly, sort of 20, 30 years ago. So the training hadn't changed. So the way we were training and playing and getting ready for games, it was the same.
Yeah.
Liverpool have had that success. We don't need to change. And we're probably a little bit late to change and move forward with the times. But it was great for me to be part of that.
Just tell us what a training day was like, a normal training day in terms of like getting in and what the mentality was of the coaches.
I think it would be get in at 9:30, make sure you're in, get changed, make sure you're not late for training.
Would you eat there before you trained? Or?
No. But I wouldn't, but some players did if they hadn't had breakfast, but again, that's not right. That was just no one knew that now, you've got to eat 3 hours before training or whatever it may be. So you'd see people coming out eating a bit of toast or something like Razor. Was always famous for that. But the way the training was then, players loved it. And a lot of it was probably on yourself to how much you put into it. So it wasn't a case of everyone's got heart monitors on. You could probably hide in a training session in some ways in them days. Eventually the staff would get onto it, of course. But a lot of it was like a warm-up, a passing drill, and you go into a five-a-side. Now, there's famous stories, I think, going back to Shankly and Paisley's time, where foreign coaches would come and watch Liverpool train, and then go away thinking, huh? You know, is that it?
Yeah.
You know, but their way of looking at it was like a small-sided game. You get everything in that you get in the bigger game, but you obviously with smaller spaces. But they'd have conditions in the game, you know, about first man has to press. So you talk about pressing now. So no matter where the ball was, you've got to go. You've got to go, and people have got to go behind you. You could only score a goal if everybody was in the opposition's half. Right. So you couldn't. So you talk about pushing a line up high, pressing from the front. That's something Jurgen Klopp's famous for. But they were doing that in the training, incorporating that in the training, and then seeing that on a match day. But for me, and most players, when you talk about a training session, if someone just said you're going to play a game for half an hour, 8-a-side, we'd all be like, oh, lovely. Yeah. You know, but you've got to make sure you put it on, put it in, which I did.
And was it always really competitive?
I think it's fair to say, when I first got in the team, I think there were some players in the squad who probably weren't at it as much as they probably should have been on a daily basis in the training session. But for me, a 5-a-side like that for half an hour, I mean, the sweat would be pouring out me. The reason I ended up playing centre-back for Liverpool was Ronnie Moran's idea.
Okay.
Yeah, because when I came back from Lilleshall to Liverpool, I was a centre-forward. Then I went a little bit deeper into midfield and won the Youth Cup. But in the Youth Cup on the run, we didn't have squads the way they do now in academies. It was basically about 11 or 12 players. There was no real subs, or certainly of quality. And the centre-back got sent off in the semi-final, the second leg. Right. So for the last 10 minutes of the game, away at Crystal Palace it was, I went to centre-back with 10 men. So we suspended for the first leg of the final. So they're a bit like, because me and David Thompson were sent to midfield. What are we going to do? We haven't really got a squad. And Ronnie Moran said, put him centre-back. He said, we did this with Phil Thompson, I don't know, 20, 30 years ago. He's a midfielder, put him at centre-back. So I got man of the match in the first leg of the final at Upton Park. We beat them 2-0. Frank Lampard and Rio were playing for West Ham. And the lad was, obviously, he could play in the second leg at Anfield, but they kept the same team.
Right, okay.
And I stayed centre-back.
And how did you feel about that?
I mean, listen, I think it was the perfect position for me. Yeah. I mean, I ended up making my debut for Liverpool with these in central midfield, and that's where I started. Did really well on my debut. But in terms of playing for Liverpool, I'm not sure I'd have been good enough to play central midfield for Liverpool week in, week out. I think I could have probably played Premier League football, but maybe at a lower level.
So let's go back to the night. You come on, and score the goal.
Yeah, I'm actually, would you believe, the Friday before so the game's at 3 o'clock Saturday. Thursday night, I played for the reserves away in Nottingham Forest, and I played centre back that night for the reserves because Liverpool were playing in a back three at the time. And they brought me off after about 70 minutes, but I still didn't twig. Right. That means I'm involved Saturday. But I mean, I come in Friday morning, the team gets picked against the youth team.
Go on.
And I'm in the team.
Tell us how you find out you're in the team, because they didn't like pin it up, did they?
No. So this is in the training on the Friday. So we're playing against the youth team. A little 15-minute game to just walk through because there's a few changes in the team. I'm playing right centre back of a back three. So, no warm down, straight into training after playing last night. The session finishes, everyone's sort of shaking my hand, congratulating me. Because, don't get me wrong, I've played a couple of games by now, but I haven't started the game. So all the lads are going, oh, you know, congratulations, you know, your debut type of thing. Brilliant. I didn't have a mobile phone, by the way, this is really important. So, I then go home, and we'd signed a player from Norway, a defender called Bjorn Kavami. Yeah. Now, he was at the club, but his clearance hadn't come through. So, no problem, I go home that afternoon. His clearance comes through at 5 o'clock. He's now in the team, but I don't know this. No one's told me. I don't know anything about it. I turn up Saturday morning, about 11 o'clock, and Roy Evans said, hey, you're not playing centre-back, Bjorn's clearance has come through. And I've just like, I feel like my world's ended. He said, but you're going to play central midfield. He said, because Patrick Berger's gone down with the shits. It's true. Got the goal, and who knows if I would have been in the box for the corner. If I was centre-back, I would have been on the halfway line. So I was marked by Gareth Southgate.
Not very well.
Exactly. And,
movement, all about the movement though, isn't it?
Exactly. And got a header, Won 3-0, and Liverpool were top of the league that night.
That celebration.
Oh yeah, just running away like that. All the legs.
But can you, you must get asked that all the time. But what did that actually feel like? Can you take yourself back and relive that?
I can't, because it didn't happen too often after. But what I do remember is, and I think of what it must be like for strikers. I went out that night with my mates, as you do, a matey, and just scored for Liverpool. I'm out on the town, and I remember just being out, and I remember 3 or 4 times through the night, just closing my eyes, and I could hear the roar, the noise that happened when I scored. I just remember closing my eyes, thinking, "Oh my God!" I could hear the noise again, even though I'm in some club. Yeah, having that feeling.
Amazing. Right, superb, mate. On to the next one.
Right,
Enjoying it?
Loving it.
It's good, isn't it?
It makes the stories out, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Oh, these what we got here.
What have we got here? Oh, Jamie Carragher, the treble. Oh, yeah.
Now then, what a year. What a season this is.
Right one yesterday.
Other way, mate, that's it. Yeah, I mean, let's talk about the boot first and foremost.
These are my favourite boots.
That sole unit is that design for me is like that's the ultimate. What size feet are you?
I'm an 8, but I would always. I mean, if you've seen some of the things I used to do with my boots, I mean, getting in the bath with them,
right?
To try and stretch them, because I love my boots to feel like.
So what size boot would you wear?
I would probably have a 7.
Right.
And I would try and stretch them as much as I possibly could. Maybe 7.5. There was nothing worse I felt than feeling that you had room in your boots, that your feet. I always felt like I needed to feel the ball when I was hitting it, not have any room. No, I couldn't do that at all. Oh, these are the greatest boots of all time.
So, you wore these first, the 2001?
The 2001, yeah.
So that was an incredible year. I think it sometimes gets a bit overshadowed because of obviously what happened in 2005.
Yeah. It's my favourite season.
Yeah.
Istanbul was a moment. Obviously, the Champions League run, but a lot of the season wasn't great. Whereas this season was unbelievable.
So it was Gerard Houllier was the manager at the time, and just quickly tell us a little bit about your relationship with Gerard.
Well, he was a father figure to a lot of us. Even though Roy Evans was a local guy, he's part of the boot room, I wasn't one of his guys, if you like. That was Robbie and Macca and Jason McAteer and Redknapp. I was just a young lad coming through. Houllier felt like I was one of his. Yeah. And I think Danny Murphy felt the same, Steven Gerrard, Mike Hollow. We were all, okay, we've come really close with this team, the Spice Boy team, but that's obviously, I know they don't like that nickname, but that was what the moniker they got. And it was Houllier, I'm going to come in and do it differently. I'm going to start with these young players, we're going to move on, we're going to start again and build a really young team. And he was really strict, but we all loved him. Yeah, he was just... I think this era is my favourite time of being a Liverpool player, because I felt like the whole club was together. Wasn't me at my best as a player, that came later with Rafa.
Okay.
But in terms of who I would class as my mates at Liverpool, I would think Michael, Danny, Robbie, Didier Man, Sammy Appiah, John Arne Riise, that era of sort of the early 2000s. Yeah.
So the first trophy of that season was the was it the Carling Cup then, or was it the
I think it was called the
Worthington Cup? Yeah. Beat Birmingham.
Yeah.
Robbie scored that absolute on the half volley. Yeah. Not a half volley. People call that a half volley. It wasn't a half volley. It was a bounce and then he hit it. Yeah. Just to be clear on that, because I'm a bit of a stickler. No, it's not.
A half volley's when you hit it as it's just bouncing.
Yeah. So in my mind, that's not even a volley either.
It's just a shot.
It's almost a bouncing lob on it, because it drops.
It was a good. Let's call it
just a great goal.
Yeah,
a great goal.
Yeah.
I read in your book you came off and you obviously delighted you won, but you weren't really happy with the performance or something like that.
Yeah, we weren't great. It was a bit like Birmingham were in the Championship, and to be fair to Gerard Houllier, I would say maybe unfair to Gerard Houllier and Rafa Benitez, at times we weren't the most free flowing of teams football wise. We were probably a little bit like Arsenal now, in that very strong defensively, and at times people could question you about, but do you create enough? Are you as easy on the eye as other teams? We were a little bit different to Arsenal. We won trophies. That's going to go out. That's going to be the trailer.
Soz about that.
No, only winding up. They're a good side. But they do need to win some trophies.
Can't help himself, can he?
Where we Birmingham, we were lucky to get to penalties, and that's why I was angry, is that we hadn't done enough in the game to win. We were playing against a championship team. But I go for the penalty, and I go up, take the longest run up you've ever seen in penalty shootout history. And we're in the World Cups, and I was just thinking, I'm just putting this. I wanted the run because I knew I was going to go side foot. And I didn't want to do that sometimes. If you just do a normal run up and you side foot it, you don't get the power. Sometimes it can look a bit weak, and the keeper just dives to his left and saves it. So I give it the run up because I wanted to get as much power, and it just flew right in the top corner, didn't it? I mean, what a penalty. But the thing I remember most about the penalty shootout is if you notice when we win it by them missing, don't we?
Yeah.
I think Sander saves it. So we all run to Sander. And then some Liverpool fans come on the pitch, and I spot a lad I know. If you look back at the video, watch me, Terence Brown. I used to play football with him as a kid. So he's coming on the pitch, I've seen him. A steward's gone to grab him. So I've grabbed him. So as this, watch it back on the YouTube, I'm pulling Terence Brown away from this steward and then just go and go.
Yeah.
You know, with all the fans. So that was my first thought, making sure one of the lads didn't get nicked after he just won the cup. But no, it was brilliant, and it was we couldn't celebrate. We went straight to England.
Yeah.
And first trophy as a Liverpool player.
Yeah. So, and then I was at Cardiff for the kind of, should we call it the get out of jail final? Really, I mean, it was quite one-sided, wasn't it, for a long part of the game. Just tell us your recollections of that game.
I remember Patrick Vieira being absolutely out of this world, and I always remember Stevie. Stevie at the time was the up-and-coming midfielder. It was Kieran Vieira, and Stevie was like, who's this fella coming to, going to take their mantle, if you like. And Stevie always says that game was a little bit like, I've still got a way to go here. I just remember Vieira just driving through midfield. He was some player, Vieira,
ridiculous.
Wow. But we were very lucky. We'd beaten Arsenal 4-0 at home that season. And I think we drew away 1-1. So I think we went into the final quite confident. They'd finished second, we'd finished third. Wasn't too much in it. But we'd taken 4 points off them. And even though we won it, I think there was a feeling after the game, we've still got a little bit to go here. And Arsenal won the league the next season.
Right, yeah.
The Michael Owen Cup final, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, that was him, wasn't it? That kind of 5-minute period, if you wanted to show somebody who Michael Owen was and what he did, it was phenomenal, wasn't it?
I mean, you said before about this season almost getting forgotten a little bit because of what came a few years later with Istanbul, but I actually think as an individual game, this game gets not forgotten, but the feeling winning that game, speaking to me mates and family after the game, roasting hot day, FA Cup final, to win it with 2 late goals, the scenes when Michael scores the winner, it's just like, I remember, I think he did the handstand, didn't he?
Yeah,
he did
the little kind of...
Or something, behind a goal, and then I'm there and I pick him up. Yeah, it was, I couldn't believe it.
The first goal in particular was just the finish.
It's like, that was typical Michael, wasn't it?
Amazing. And then the madness against Alaves.
I mean, that Europeans, that for me was, I always remember playing in Rome there. I remember waking up after my afternoon sleep in Rome in the hotel. And even, I think it was about October, November this. I remember just opening the window, and it was cold, but there was like a bit of a sun. And you could hear the Liverpool fans must be in some squares, so I could just hear them and just thinking, wow, this felt like what really playing for Liverpool feels like.
Yeah.
And I'm glad we won it when it was called the UEFA Cup rather than Europa League. I do think the UEFA Cup was a better trophy to win. I mean, it was...
And it's actually, the trophy is a beautiful trophy, isn't it? That is great.
And I just think when you look at who we played and who was in the competition, it's a Champions League run.
Yeah.
But it doesn't feel like that because you played Alaves in the final. If you swap Alaves and Barcelona or Alaves and Roma and play Alaves earlier on, it is. Inter Milan were in the competition. Porto, so it shows how strong it was.
Right.
My favourites.
Yeah, beautiful.
You said I can keep all these?
Sorry?
Oh, can I keep all... Am I keeping all these boots?
Oh, is that what? I was... I'm gonna let, you know, I've got, at the end, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna let you pick a pair. 4 down, 2 to go.
Okay.
Okay. Right, and you're on time.
Oh, Istanbul.
Oh, here we go. There's been a lot of chat flying around, like when I revealed to the guys that you were wearing these, like he wasn't wearing those, Carra didn't wear those. So, obviously you started off as a striker and then became a defender, and you wouldn't class those as a defender's boot. So tell us the story about how did you come to be wearing this model of boot?
Okay. The only sole reason I wore them is because I was like, yeah. That was it. That was the only idea. I mean, they look nice, but I was getting paranoid at this stage in my career. You know, when you start thinking, oh, I've got to be quicker, I've got to be a bit sharper. So something about the weight of the boot. So I held them and held maybe a pair of Adidas. Anything to try and give you a 1% or 2%. I was massive, whether it was food, sleep, how you train, and if I could get lighter boots, that would make me, I could be a fraction of a second quicker. That was the only reason, just how light they are.
Yeah.
They're feather, aren't they?
They're beautiful. A lovely design. Lovely design. What was Rafa's impact upon you as a player in your career?
I'd say him and Gerard Hugh are the two biggest influences, but in terms of on the pitch influence, it was Rafa.
In game as well.
You know, like training, positional sense, where to be, when to push up, just the tiniest details about being a defender. It was on a different level to what I think English coaches were given to the defenders, which was always, you know, the basic stuff of, you know, the ball's on that side, we all come over, and the distances between each other and stuff like that. But this was like the tiniest detail, and feet positions.
You strike me as someone who loved all that as well, like receptive to all that, any little increment you could get.
I loved it. So that was a big thing with Rafa on the way to Istanbul. Now I had a really good season that season, but it wasn't my best under Rafa because I was still learning exactly what he wanted. So people always say, oh, that was your greatest season because of Istanbul, but I actually played a lot better season after season with Rafa because basically just a year or two in I knew exactly what he wanted.
Going into that game, okay, was there anything at all that gave you any inkling that we're not maybe quite at it, or was there anything, any sort of like warning signs that you saw and felt this isn't quite right going into that first half?
No, my thought process going into the game was that we were underdogs, but I still thought we could win. And I know it's going to sound silly. I think in some ways we probably underestimated how good they were. And I said that would sound silly when you looked at the team sheet. But we played Juventus on the way there, and they won the Italian league that season. Now, we beat Juventus, very tough game, they were a better team than us, but we found a way to win. And I'd always, throughout my career, if I describe Italian teams, they weren't the hardest to play against because the game was a lot slower. And you're used to the Premier League, so you could put up with the pace of the game. And it was a little bit similar like that against Juventus. Even when we were away from home, it wasn't like, we were under the cosh, but it wasn't something you couldn't totally control. So they've won the league, AC Milan are third. We know they've got great players, but okay, that's maybe the standard. That's the type of game we might get. Then AC Milan's performance, actually for most of the game really, but definitely in those first 45 minutes was just something we were like, whoa. This was something I wasn't expecting. We know they've got great players, but it was like, the best way to describe it was like playing Arsenal at their best in those with Vieira and Henry and Perez, because they, for me, that was always, if you ask me what was my toughest ever game, it was always playing that Arsenal team from 2002 to 2004, and that's what it felt like playing against AC Milan in that first final. It didn't feel like we were playing against an Italian team.
What were you thinking and feeling during that first half?
After the first goal, it sounds strange, but it almost took the nervousness away of the game. I mean, I wasn't that nervous, to be honest, but I think it's almost like once the first goal goes, oh, okay, we're getting beaten now. Right. You know, it wasn't like it was the end of the way, but it almost took the shackles off. And when I look back at the game, we weren't that bad with the ball. We didn't create a lot, but you know, we had a little bit of ball. We had a couple of, you know, situations around the edge of the box and different things. It wasn't like we were on the edge of our own box and we couldn't get out. It wasn't that type of game. It was more they score, but they just hit us on the counter attack and just like devastating how quick they were. And I think when goals 2 and 3 go in, it's like, wow, you know, this is like almost like you're out. Yeah, this is too good for us. So it wasn't something to get like overly angry about and someone's not trying or someone's doing this or, you know, someone's letting us down. It was just a bit like, and I think there's a picture of me, I think it might be when the 3rd goal goes in and there's a shot of us taking the kick off, but it's looking back towards our goal. And I'm just like sort of hands on hips. I think Stevie's the same, just looking forward. It's not like you're going, come on. No. It's like you're just like, you're in a daze, just like, whoa.
So when you went in at half time, when you walked out for the second half, was there a different, was there an energy shift? Did you feel that?
No, I don't think so.
No.
It was about Rafa. It wasn't about motivating us.
No.
You aren't putting enough in it. You know, you had to keep people's sort of energy up because this could get really embarrassing. I think that was the fear. I don't know if Rafa's ever admitted that, but he went to 3 at the back and he brought a defensive midfield player on, indeed, the man.
Okay.
I'm not, you know, and that's what changed the game. Can you believe an ice cream man's just coming here? It's an industrial estate. It's fucking 11:20 and it's pissing down with rain. It was Rafa changing to a back 3, and I think a lot of that was to do with let's make sure
we don't get absolutely
embarrassed. And of course, can we get a goal and change things? But I think the feeling coming out for me was not to make this embarrassing. That was certainly my mindset.
And then Stephen scores a header.
Yeah. I mean, when you look at the second half, they look more like scoring a 4th than we do a first. If you look, I think Jersey makes a really good save from Shevchenko. And then you need something, don't you? Yeah. You know, and then who's it going to be? It's going to be Stevie. And I mean, probably gets forgotten about a little bit how good a header that was. It's about. Was he penalty spot?
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, okay. Still no real.
Was it just okay though? Was it?
For me,
because you're a realist, aren't you? You are.
For me, I'm thinking, it's not too bad that 3-1.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens here. It wasn't a case of here we go, but then to get the second one so quickly, that's when it was like, whoa. Yeah. That's where my feeling, it was like, oh my God.
Right.
Something's happening here.
Energy levels
went through the roof. Not so much after the first goal, after the second goal. I think you see, I always say nobody celebrates with Vladimir Smicer.
No.
It's like, get back. Everyone get back as quick as you can. We need to get this game going again. We all know what's going on here. Or the second goal's happened. Oh my God, here we go.
You've all got the urge. You're the urgency. Everyone understands.
No one needs to tell anyone. No. It's just everyone knows. You've all been in football long enough. The supporters know something special's happening.
I was going to go, right? I couldn't go. I ended up watching it with Oasis in their dressing room ahead of their show. They were playing a show at the Coronet in East London, and it goes to extra time. So they have to push the gig back because all the audience are watching it downstairs. They're all watching the game on the big screens.
Yeah. Do they come out to You Never Walk Alone?
Liam said, has anybody got You Never Walk Alone? So it was iPods back then. Someone had it on their iPod, they hooked it up. They walked onto it and you would think that could go down really badly. Yeah. But because everyone was, full of...
And the City fans? At that time, Liverpool and City probably
there was no rivalry, was there then, So, it was worked a treat and it was amazing. But sorry, so going back...
No, I've heard that story, before,
True story. So extra time.
So then that feeling changes when you get to 3-3, you get the penalty. Shabby scores the penalty and we go to extra time. And then the feeling changes.
Yeah.
It's like, let's get to penalties.
Yeah.
And then, besides 6 minutes in that game, of 120 minutes, 6 minutes of it, AC Milan weren't at the races.
Okay.
For the 114, it's probably one of the best performances you'll ever see.
So that's interesting that you said, let's get to pens. Was that partly because I'm assuming like you're absolutely knackered as well?
Yeah, we're hanging on, we're not as good as them. It's not something we're saying to each other again. No, I think it's probably a mindset of like, we all know we're not daft. It's like, we've done unbelievably.
Yeah.
Let's do as much as we possibly can to hang on in there.
And do you have time to look at them and like address their body language and see how they're feeling? Was there any thought in your mind like, we've got this here? I know that's a cliche because you don't know, because anything can happen, but is there a feeling that we feel really confident going into this penalty shootout? Or was it like, it's just a lottery?
I wasn't feeling, I didn't really think like that. I was more thinking like, we can't lose, as in like, we've done unbelievable. Yeah. This is unbelievable what we've done. You know, not like I don't care about the penalties, but I didn't feel pressured of like, oh my God, the penalties for the European Cup. Really, I didn't think like that. I was more, I was just still like, what can we do to try and win it? And I was getting into jersey wear and about putting them off. Let's do everything we can. We're probably not going to be in this position again. You know, penalty shootout for the Champions League. Let's go for it and try and bend the rules and cheat as much as we can.
And my bad memory of you is in those boots, running down, socks rolled down, jumping, and
they're like boots, you say, got there first, didn't they?
Yeah. Cliche question, but greatest night of your football career.
Yeah, of course. Not going to be beaten, is it?
How long did you party for after that?
You know, so the Champions League finals were a Wednesday night in those days. So hotel that night, fly back the next day into town after the homecoming, which was unbelievable. We were out that night. Kenny joined us. Some ex-players joined us in town in the Sir Thomas. So that was Thursday night. Friday night, I was at a mate's, someone's 30th, so we were all out that night. Saturday, I was at my agent's wedding, so that was another bevy. And then the Sunday was a barbecue with all the my mates' Liverpool fans. And I remember getting it to about 7, 8 o'clock, being there all afternoon, and I just walked out the front door and went and got a taxi without saying it. It was just like, I'd had 4 or 5 nights. It was just like, I'm done. I didn't say nothing when I just walked straight out the front door, went and got a taxi and got home. So we Wednesday till Sunday, we had a good go.
Still have your boots on?
Yeah. Right, brilliant, mate. Right. Thank you.
Last player.
Oh, the finale.
Yeah.
My last game, I struggle to say what my boots were on my last game.
Really?
It's not something that would come straight to my head.
Well, you probably had other things on your mind, didn't you?
Yeah.
As well, but
yeah.
Have a look.
Let's see. Okay. Yeah. I can picture it now on the picture that with the crowd behind me. Yeah. These boots, light again.
Yeah.
I don't even know what the name of these are. What are these called? These are
Predator LZs.
Oh, Adidas. Oh, sorry. Yeah. To be honest, it got to the stage at the end of my career where Liverpool, when they were sponsored by Adidas, definitely, we'd have just loads of boots in the boot room. So I didn't have a boot sponsor, stuff like that. So I'd just go in and take the boots, you know, and say, okay, I'm wearing, what boots have we got here now? So they must have been in the boot room. They must have been the modern Adidas boots that were in there, and that's what I would do. I'd go in there, and sometimes I'd nick a couple of pairs for my mates.
Would you?
Different sizes and that, yeah, definitely. And a bit of detail there with the name on.
Yeah, well, there.
23.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know whether you actually have ever worn, as in, I don't think you wore those particular, as in those exact boots, but I think they were. I've been told that they're player issue boots that were done for you. So, the last game, when I watched it, and I watched you beforehand, during the game, and after the game, I felt that you appeared that you just wanted to treat it like any other game. Yeah. And you didn't want any fuss, you didn't want any fanfare. Am I right?
Yeah, I'm not big on that. No. Really. I just wanted to win the game. I wanted to keep a clean sheet. I didn't want to make a mistake for a goal. And yeah, that, in terms of like getting emotional and all people on the pitch, it just that's not me. No. I'm like, football for me is serious. It's, you know, I know it was a big day for me, and it was. And I look back and I am really proud of it. You know, the big mosaic in the Kop and the two teams lining up for me to walk out. I mean, Liverpool have had some unbelievable players in the history, and very few have probably had that on the last game. So I am really proud of it. But I was also of the mindset that I don't want everything around the game to cloud my last game for Liverpool, where I want to play well and I want to win.
I tell you what, they nearly notched, didn't you?
Yes, and that's what I'm thinking. I'm looking at this bit here. right foot. Wow. You know, they say that, don't they? It was Craig Johnson with the Predators, wasn't he?
That's right, yeah.
Put a bit of waz on them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a strike that was.
I only shocked because it was my last game. Yeah. I'm allowed, it's my last game.
When you're running back, there's like, I'm sure you're like running back like
laughing.
But there's I don't think you're laughing. I think you're sort of trying to keep a straight face, like, you know, keep your head on. But I'm sure there's a little moment where you just have a little grin to yourself.
Yeah, I think there is. Yeah, that is one. When I say regret, oh God, if that's gone in. Yeah.
That'd have been too perfect, though, wouldn't it?
No, it just. I mean, I would have scored on my full debut, wouldn't it? I mean, to score on me first full game and score on my last game would have been pretty special. And I always think, what would I have done? I love to imagine I would have walked off. I would have said to Brendan, sub me.
Yeah.
And
just gone.
Yeah,
even
just straight down.
Yeah.
Yeah, get me off. Because I was always going to come off in the game, you know, to get the standing ovation.
Yeah.
And I just think that would have been brilliant when they just walked straight down. That's your last touch for Liverpool.
Mate, I've loved this.
I've enjoyed it.
Yeah. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to
make a suggestion.
Go on.
Right. Whose are the boots? Which ones can I keep or which ones have to go?
Well, I'm going to let you pick. I'm going to let you have a pair. You can have the ones that you broke, because no fucker wants them now, do they?
You know, Marsh Lanes and my World Cups, that'll do me. I don't need the Copers. So they can go back. I wouldn't mind having the Nikes from the Champions League final if we can do a deal with your mate.
Well, I'm sure we can.
Can we do a deal?
I'm sure we can sort something out.
We can do a deal.
Have you enjoyed it?
Loved it. Brilliant.
Mate, I know you've got...
We shook hands at the start, didn't we?
I know.
And we'll shake hands at the end.
Absolute gentleman.
Brilliant, mate. Thanks, Fenners. Thank you. No, they're great then.
They can't really have them, mate.